guys, this is Isaac here. Um, Today I'm going to be teaching you guys um, about variables and if statements in Roblox Studio, that's scripting with Lua. So first what you want to do is insert a script into your workspace. I'm going to choose a normal script as a local script. Would do the same thing that we want it, but I'm just going to use a normal script for now. So, if you're wondering where I got this cool color scheme from, it's from a good friend of mine, Shawn. And if you want the color scheme, I can link that in the description. And all credit for it goes to Shawn, as I got it from him and he made it. So, let's get started. So first I'm going to talk about variables. So that's not a variable, that's a comment. Sorry. So a variable would be something like this. So let's say Joe equals 12. So now if we did print Joe and then we tested it here, I'll show you what happens. It will print 12. So in your output it should say 12. So just let it load up. Come on. Yeah, there we go. You see it says 12. Now if I stopped this, and now we can work more on our script. So if we have Joe equals 12, print Joe. Now what if we did Joe plus 10? Now if we tested that, it would print 22. So in our output right here where it says 12, right under it, it would say 22. Now if we wanted it to just say Joe, we would need a string variable. And right here, this is a number variable. So to make a string variable, you want to say, let's say, Bob equals, and then let's say, what do we want the text to be? Let's say Bob equals hello world. Okay, now if we did print Bob, it'll print hello world, and I'll show you that right now. You see, it prints 22 and hello world. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to show you about local variables. So if I had a function, let's say, let's say game.players.player added connect function player. Okay, now if we had a local variable up here and we said local, let's just say variable equals 12. Actually, that's repetitive. Let's say local variable equals 5. So now our variable equals 5. So if we said print variable like that, it should print 5. Now, the thing about local variables is that if we had this variable under here, you see how this goes blue? It is unable to tell that this is even existing because it was not told that variable is existent. It was told that afterwards, after the function had already started. So if we wanted this local variable to be recognized by our function, it needs to be above the actual function. And so if we had this variable, let's say we had it inside of here, then it will recognize it. But if it's anywhere under our function, then it won't recognize it. See, if we did this, let's see, if we put it down here, it can't tell that it's there, so it won't recognize it. But if we had it above, right here, then it's recognized, and you can tell because it will give you a blue underline. Now, I'm going to show you a little more about normal variables, and I believe that normal variables, if I had a variable down here and we said variable equals, let's say, 203, then see how that blue underline goes away? Because this is covering the whole script. Variable will go throughout the whole script before anything is activated. So you could use this, and you could say like up here that you wanted to print variable. And now let's test it. So it should print 203 twice, but it gives us nil. Okay, one sec. Okay, this is because we're trying to print it, and if we're trying to print the variable that is underneath, it won't work. But if we wanted to do something like get, let's do math.floor variable, and then if we let's say floor variable equals math.floor, then down here, if we wanted to print floor variable, we could. So let's say print floor variable. Now, if I tested this, it should print nil and our floor variable, which should be 200. So let's see. Okay, I know why this is wrong. One sec. Okay, this is actually wrong. Sorry. I'm teaching you the wrong stuff right now. I shouldn't be doing that. That's bad. So now, anyway, let's just skip that. I think I was completely wrong about that. I was probably just being stupid. So as you can see, variable, it can't see variable because there is no variable. So if we tried to print it right now, it would say nil or got nil or something like that. So let's see. Yeah, it prints nothing because it doesn't know what variable is. So now let's get to if statements. So if we said game.players.player added connect function player. Okay, now if we said if player dot name equals let's say player 1 or just player, then so what this is going to do, if the player that joined the game, if its name is player, then it will continue with the function. If it's not player, then it will end right here. And so let's just give it something to do. Let's say if player.name equals player, then player, repeat, wait until player.character, player.character.head, remove. Okay, so if we did this, it should remove our head when we join because we are called player. So let's test this. Oh, we're player 1, sorry. So we have to go into our script and write player 1. Now let's test it. Okay, as you can see, it removed our head and killed us. So that's what that will do. Now, if we stop this and go into our script, and now let's give another if statement. Or I guess actually I'll keep that and say if player. So let's actually say blah blah, like whatever you want. And then if we said else, so if the player's name is blah blah, then it will do, let's say, print you are cool. Just gonna put brackets around that. Okay, so print you are cool if the player's name is blah blah, but we don't have anyone named blah blah. So now if there's no one named blah blah and the player that joined is not named blah blah, it will say that otherwise, if their name isn't blah blah, then it will continue with this. So it will repeat until the player's character has spawned in, and then once the player's character is in the game, then the player's character's head will be removed. So let's test this out. It should remove our head. Okay, as you can see, it removed our head because our name is not blah blah. So if we stop this, and then say player 1 up here, it should print you are cool. So let's test that out. As you can see, it said you are cool because it recognized that our name is player 1. So otherwise, it would remove our head. So now there's another thing in player names, so or in if statements. So if we said toot toot, yeah, toot hoot poot. Let's just say something random like that. If the player's name is toot hoot poot, then we could say else if. So if the player's name is not toot hoot poot, then it will go to this else if statement. So if we said else if player dot name equal let's say player 1, then. So that's saying that's like a more specific else. You can choose what it's looking for instead of just the opposite of your if statement. Then you can say else if player.name equals player 1. So that will remove our head. So let's try that. As you can see, it removed our head and killed us once again because it noticed that our name is not Toot Hoot Poot, and it decided to go to the else if. And if it's saying Otherwise, if our name isn't Toot Hoot Poot and our name is player 1, then it will continue. So now let's just put this to player, and it shouldn't do anything now. So that script is basically useless. It won't do anything. So let's see. Yep, it did nothing. We can walk around. We're all fine. Okay, so that's that. That's if statements and variables. Just tell me in the comments if I'm not explaining things well enough. I can, I guess, redo the tutorial and tell me what you want me to teach you next. I'm up for anything. I'll teach you anything you want. So, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully. If you enjoyed, remember to subscribe, or even like the video, or comment, because commenting will show me that you guys actually appreciate what I'm doing, and you can tell me or respond to my questions, or what I want you to do and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.